Hey, this is Chuck Marshall with Wani, and I am talking to Nita Strauss. Nita, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on.
Hey, thanks for talking with me. You guys just got off the tour with Alice Cooper, pretty much the spring of March tour, and then it looks like you guys are going back out in August. I was just curious, what's your the thing that you like most about being on the road with Alice?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I've been touring since I was 15. I'm 31 now, so it's more than half my life of being on the road, being on tour, and playing with Alice is the most amazing experience that I could ask for. You know, everybody from the band to the crew to the fans, they're all so awesome.
Awesome. So does he make every night pizza night?
Every night pizza night?
Yeah.
No, we didn't even get pizza on that tour, actually.
That's poor.
Very, very rarely. Why? Is there a pizza night?
No.
Is there a pizza night story?
No, I just knew you liked pizza, so I thought maybe he was trying to make sure you were taken care of.
Oh, I love pizza, but I can't eat it every night. I think I'd have to roll onto the stage and run around like I do. I actually get all my meals delivered on tour, believe it or not. It's so hard to stay eating healthy on tour. I use a meal prep company called Trifecta that they actually send my meals out to me every week, so I don't eat too much pizza.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So
it's kind of rad, yeah. Touring in 2018.
So your guitar style is very metal, and I have to imagine it was a bit of a challenge for you to fit into playing more traditional rock licks. How has your playing been influenced by the time that you spent with Alice?
Very, very, very heavily influenced. You know, I definitely am more of a shred metal player. You know, learning to kind of lay back and let the song breathe was a big lesson for me. You know, not play all the time, not play so many notes.
Right.
Was a big change for me. So, it's great to be in a situation. There are two other guitar players in Alice's band. It's myself, Ryan Roxy, and Tommy Henriksen. So playing with two really strong rock players was really good for me to kind of take a cue how to lay back.
So you are kind of stepping out from your role as being a hired guitarist and getting into writing your own music. Your Kickstarter campaign for your solo album kicked ass. I mean, you totally crushed your goals, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's doing really well. It's actually still going for another 8 days, so I'm excited to see how far it gets.
Yeah. So what is your takeaway from that outpouring of support that's been given so far, given that this is just your first solo album?
It's amazing. Every new thing that you step into in life, you always have a little bit of trepidation. I think, for me, it was, yes, I have, people that follow me on social media, but are they really interested in what I do, or do they follow me because I play songs they like? You know, whether I'm playing Alice songs or Iron Maiden songs or, video game songs or whatever it is. So getting that support and really, we hit our 30-day goal in 2 hours. So to see that, it was just like really great validation to see that people actually want to hear what I'm going to do. It was amazing.
Yeah. So speaking of the solo album, can you give me a little some of the thoughts on the musical direction you're going in? Are you is it going to be all instrumental, or are you going to have some guest vocalist? Will it be all metal, or will you kind of explore some other genres?
It's definitely going to be, it'll be an instrumental record. I may have a guest singer on one song. There's somebody that I've been wanting to work with for a long time that I've been talking to. But besides that, it'll all be instrumental, and it'll be in the vein of my single Pandemonium, which we released last year. So it's by and large, it will be, an instrumental metal album, but there will be, I've been writing some experimentation with some different styles of music, so I think it's going to be an interesting result at the end.
And so, are you going to have any other guest musicians? I know that your boyfriend Josh plays drums. Is he going to be on the album as well?
Yeah, he's definitely going to do the drums on the album, and for a couple of reasons, not just because I'm a little biased. I think he's awesome.
He is awesome. I'll tell you,
I really don't know a better drummer. Honestly, if that wasn't the case, I'm not really the type to just put somebody on my record because I like them.
Yeah.
Josh, aside from us having really awesome chemistry, as a couple, he's also my manager. So we work together in every every aspect.
That's cool.
But, you know, aside from having great chemistry, he really is technically one of the best drummers I know, and his style adds so much to my style. You know, he's really heavily influenced by, like, Sepultura and tribal drums, so having that added bonus into my metal background is really, really cool.
So do you think you'll have any, will you get any guest guitarists playing with you or doing anything?
There's going to be one. There's going to be one guest guitarist. I wanted this first record to really just be, it's kind of a weird thing to say, but I wanted it to just be about me.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want anybody buying it, you know, saying like, oh, she's only leaning on all these other guitar players. You know, that's the only way she can make a record is by getting a bunch of guests. Like, I really just wanted to do this one myself. Yeah. And, you know, I have so many people I wanted to collaborate with, and so many musicians. I was like, this is my chance. But I think the next record is going to be my chance to do that. And the first one I really just want to do on my own terms and on my own merit. And that's why we did the Kickstarter. You know, that's why we did this our own way, rather than having to get label approval for, you know, is this artwork okay? Can I go on tour at this time? You know, can I say this in my interviews? Like, I just wanted to do one thing that was just my own thing, and I think that's what we're accomplishing here.
So do you think once the record's released, will you go tour as a solo artist? Yeah. Okay. Oh,
definitely. You know, the tour budget was already included in the initial Kickstarter campaign. You know, it already allowed for some tour support. Okay. So now that we have reached the goal so handsomely, there'll be more touring for sure. I've already got the routing for the first one, which is looking like it's going to begin in November of this year. Awesome. And then hopefully after that, we're going to continue on in 2019.
Awesome. Are you going to bring anybody out on the road with you, or just is it just going to be you on the bill?
Oh, it'll be me and some other guitar players, yeah.
All right. Sounds good. So, you know, I think the days of, you know, scoring the coveted record deal for your band or as a solo artist, you know, are harder and harder than has ever been. That dream of landing a deal and being a rock star seems to have passed a little bit. Yet you're an example of a talented musician who's working every single angle as far as like doing clinics. You're a hired guitarist as well. You've got your own band. You're doing the solo thing. Do you think that the opportunities for making a living as a musical artist have fundamentally changed since the days of your musical heroes?
I think there's more opportunity now. I mean, can you imagine if there had been YouTube when Cacophony was around, let's say? You know,
oh, right, yeah.
Becker and Marty Friedman. Can you imagine if they had a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Like, you know, holy moly. Like, there are so many opportunities now, you know. I think you just have to want it badly, just like any time, you know. You have to want it badly and be willing to take the steps that are necessary to get there. You know, I don't do anything except play guitar. I never have. And the reason for that is because I worked my ass off to be able to do that. You know, while other girls my age when I was in high school had boyfriends and were going out doing stuff, I was on tour. I was on Warped Tour. I had dropped out of school to keep touring. And those are things that people don't take into account when they think like, oh, it's easy. You just play guitar and that's it. Like, you have to do all those other things, like you mentioned before. You have to do clinics. You have to play other people's songs. You have to be able to learn music really quickly. There are so many factors. But as long as you're willing to put in the work, anybody can be anybody.
Right. But do you think, like let's say like Jason Becker or somebody like that, do you think that fans necessarily, because I think there's a little bit of a viewpoint that, like, you know, you get signed and you're suddenly going to be huge and famous. And I think that kind of happens sort of like in this lottery way with pop music, but I don't know if it's ever been that way with rock or metal. Do you think it's kind of a fan perception that, you know, you're just on tour and all you have to do is play guitar, and once you get hooked up on a sweet deal like Alice, you're set and good?
Oh yeah, that is a huge misconception. There's nothing, I mean, like, the only thing true about that is how much fun it is to be on tour. I mean, being on tour is amazing. You get to, like, you know, I wake up in a different city and I go and I walk around and I go, oh my gosh, I'm in Prague and I'm getting paid to be here to play guitar. Like, that is amazing. And the fan perception of that is completely accurate. Like, I've never been more honored or happy to have a job in my life. But beyond that, I mean, it is it's work. You have to keep up with everything. You know, I have like 15,000 social media accounts, it seems like, and I have to respond back to people on every single one. And if I don't, then I'm a jerk for not responding to people, you know?
Right.
And I love doing it, but it's a full-time job. I don't have a social media team. You know, everything that you see is just me. So 2 Facebooks, an Instagram, a Twitter, a Snapchat, my Kickstarter messages, you know, my emails, like everything is, you know, I'm a one-woman show. And it's just me and Josh doing everything. And then, you know, my signature guitar coming out, the clinics, signature pickups, photo shoots, interviews. You know, I'm doing interviews for like 7 hours today. Like, people don't think about everything that goes into it besides just, hey, you play guitar. You know, people have this perception like, oh, you only work for 90 minutes a day. You know,
Right.
sure, you only play, and the rest of the time is just this free time. But that's so completely not true.
So I watched this. There's an interview on YouTube with you doing a Google Talk in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And just in case, you know, other fans are checking this interview out, I really think they should go check out that Google Talk, because it really gives some great insight into your playing and your career to date and just your personality. How did you get involved with Google?
Oh, gosh. I'm trying to think how that happened. Yeah, Google Talk is funny because I was so tired. Like, I've actually never watched it because every time I look at it, I see how tired I was and it makes me tired again. Because we had done like 5 shows back to back. And then the last one was on Halloween. We did Jimmy Kimmel on Halloween and then had to fly it to Google the next morning, after, you know, November 1st at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I just, every time I look at that, I go, yeah, I was really tired that day. So I'm glad I gave some good insight. So we played, if I remember correctly, how that came to be, we played at Google, not at Google, I'm sorry. We played near Google, right by the Google campus up north, with Motley Crue in 2014. And somebody reached out to the band and said, if you guys want to come take a tour of the Google campus, you know, you guys are welcome to.
Uh-huh.
And it's all starting to come back to me now. It's a little fuzzy. But, like, so it was about 4 or 5 years ago, somebody invited us to come and take a tour of the campus. And the Google campus is so rad. You know, they have food. Like, speaking of pizza, they have food. It's something like every 200 feet, there's food.
Really?
That you don't have to go far, which is how I'd like to live my whole life. But, you know, it was really, really cool. So then we just kept in touch with some of the people over there at Google. And I did 2 Google Talks that day. I did my one, which is about me, which I'm really great at talking about. And then I did another one, which was about privacy in the digital age, talking about, you know, basically, you know, women in the public eye and how to keep your private life private when so many people are able to Google and find out so much information about you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would be important.
Yeah.
So
my contribution was kind of minimal, you know, talking to a room full of programmers. Like,
right.
I had all this stuff prepared about, you know, don't tag in at your hotel, and, you know, a lot of people have a habit of tagging in everywhere they go. And
yeah.
if you tag in your hotel, it's a great way to have a lot of hang-up calls to your room and people waiting outside. So
right.
Those are my sort of rudimentary suggestions, but, you know, these guys are all programmers, so the questions were much more in-depth. I'm not surprised I haven't seen it.
So you also have another band that's called We Start Wars. Do you have any new plans for that band as far as like album releases or tours?
Yeah, We Start Wars is going to be going to the studio also probably next month.
Uh-huh.
We're going to, you know, the first single that we put out last year, The Animal Inside, I recorded every bit of that. You know, I produced everything, I recorded everything. And I realized something, you know, in doing that. I'm not really a producer. Like, I can do my own stuff and I can do guitar stuff just fine. But, you know, when it comes to an actual band, you know, with a vocalist and songs that, you know, that aren't just guitar playing,
right.
It's best left in the hands of someone that knows how to do it. So we're going to go and work with a producer and put some more music out this year.
Cool. Any producers that we would know?
I have not locked it down yet.
Okay.
I had somebody that we were really excited about working with, and their schedule just didn't work at the last minute. So now I'm sort of scrambling to get this in while I have the time to do it. So we'll find out.
All right. And when did you say that will be out? When are you targeting for it?
Hopefully it'll be out this year in 2018.
Awesome. Sounds good. So, Nita...
I'd be shocked if it wasn't, let's say.
Well, that would be awesome. We'll have a solo album and we'll have another and a band album. That'd be great.
So much music.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, you can't have there's no such thing as too much music. So
never. No, never.
So, Nita, I just got one last question for you. What is your favorite breakfast food?
Oh my gosh, this is the worst answer, but I don't eat breakfast. I do intermittent fasting, which is where you basically skip breakfast and dinner.
Uh-huh.
So like I try to forget about breakfast, but I'm a huge avocado toast person.
All right.
So I will sometimes eat avocado toast like a breakfast food, for my lunch or for my afternoon meal.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with the avocado toast. Get a nice big thick piece of sourdough bread, nice ripe avocado, and some egg. I'm really hungry now. So yeah, avocado toast.
Awesome. Well, Nita, I really appreciate taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the music.
Thanks a lot.
All right, see ya.
Bye-bye.